know what my biggest win was for the week.
Well, Mel, we are recording live. Welcome to the podcast, everybody. And welcome, Mel. She didn't even realize we were going live. We're already live.
Yep. Nope.
Oh, I love that. We are talking about embracing abundance beyond materialism today. And it is going to be an interesting little discussion, I reckon. And because you just mentioned, Mel, you can't even remember what your win is.
No.
For the week. It must have been one of those weeks for you, right?
Yeah. Well, it's been a week. It's been a morning. I was just trying to think back, like, what has been, a win for me this week? And I can't even think.
Because you've just been dropping kids off and they've forgot their bags and they forgot their school pants. You've had to go to the shops. Like it's only 9 o'clock and you've already been to the Rabina Town Centre, twice to the high school, to back home to get a kid's bag, then to the primary school. No wonder
so you know what? My greatest win was making it on time for this 9 a.m. podcast. Yes, I'm owning it. That's my win. Just juggling it all.
I don't know how you did it. To be honest, when you messaged me, it was like only, 20 minutes ago, and here you are already. So that's a big win. Love it.
Yes. And your win, Harmony, what's your win been over the last week?
My win, I would have to say I've spent a lot more time in clinic this week. So with my women's health clients, which has been really nice, just getting back to practitioner work and seeing them thrive and healing their hormones. And I've just had some really beautiful clients who have had some really great conversations. And yesterday I had quite a few clients that it was their follow-up appointment, and they were just saying how much more aligned they feel with themselves, how their hormones have improved. And it's so nice to hear. It's just one of those really good days where you're like, yeah, I love this. I love doing this. So I would have to say that would be my win for the week, was being with my clients in my clinic, to be honest.
And making a huge difference, and it's like that when you're doing, like when you're in your clinic working with clients and you have such a passion for women's health and Ayurveda, and to see them go away and implement it and come back and make a huge difference in their life, like, is so rewarding.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And the other win I think we both had, I don't think we've done an episode together since we ran the charity event, have we?
Oh, yeah. No, we haven't. No.
I mean, it's been such a blur for both of us. We've had so much on, but I'm like, I don't think we have done a duo episode, and that was a huge win. So it was so nice because Mark, one of the spokespersons for Destiny Rescue, came and spoke to all of us women in business and beyond at our charity event about child sex trafficking. And it was such a, how do I say this? It was powerful, it was impactful, it was eye-opening, and it was shocking all at once. Like, it was full on. So I am so grateful for the women that showed up for that and who continue to donate to this cause. That was absolutely amazing. I think that's a huge, huge win, and a huge win moving forward, because I'm so excited to be supporting this wonderful cause with you, Mel.
Yeah. And next year it's definitely going to be bigger and better. And I just want to shout out to all the ladies that were there. Just incredible for you to spend your time and coming in there and raising awareness. It's such an amazing, beautiful cause. And like you said, Harmony, it hit all emotions just in the one thing, like just shock, sadness, and also I think the biggest takeaway I got from that was just so much hope. Like the work that they're doing, even though it's so heartbreaking, but the outcome for these young children that get rescued and the lives that they get to lead is just absolutely incredible. So it's an amazing, amazing charity. Yeah. Can't wait for next year.
Well, look at that. We came up with a few wins. Love it.
So today, what are we speaking about, Harmony?
We're speaking about embracing abundance beyond materialism, because I think we always get when we think of abundance, the first thing that comes to mind for a lot of us is abundance of material possession or abundance of money and wealth, and that will lead to abundance in everything else. It's not always the case. And I will say that I have been in both situations where I have had absolutely nothing, like really nothing. And I have had great wealth. And I will say that I'm not going to sugarcoat it to make out that money doesn't make life easier. Like, it does
Mhm.
make life easier to some degree, but it is not the meaning of abundance. And you
Mm.
can have a different abundant mindset without having a bank full of cash. That is 100% what I know for sure, because I have, as I mentioned, been in both situations, and I have been very, very low and down and anxious and stressed with lots of money. And I have felt the same with no money, and have found extremely happy and full of purpose with no money, and extremely happy and full of purpose with money. So I think we need to shift the mindset around embracing abundance being just related to a wealth mindset.
Mhm. And I love how you're saying that. And I really, you've come from both spectrums, growing up in the northern New South Wales with hippie parents and really just living that kind of grounded, earthy, and seeing abundance from a perspective of it's not material, and possessions, and then flipping it over to now that you're in a state, you and your husband has built wealth, and that wealth abundance. So how can we, or I really would love to know from your perspective and your experience, how can we cultivate a mindset of that abundance beyond that material possessions, and if there's any practices, or perspectives that we can help shift, our focus towards what true abundance is.
Yeah, so I think abundance for me beyond materialism refers to a mindset and a
Mhm.
lifestyle that prioritizes non-material aspects of wealth, as I mentioned, and well-being. Like, well-being is a huge part of that. So it involves recognizing and appreciating the richness of life beyond monetary possessions, such as our
Mm.
relationships. Like, we can have such deep, beautiful connection and relationships where there's no money or wealth involved or exchange. I have beautiful friendships. I mean, obviously, money and wealth comes as part of the parcel when you're married and there's a package, but that's not what the relationship should be built on if you're looking for an abundant relationship. Experiences, so we can have amazing, beautiful experiences that are so accessible and free to us without spending a dime. And when you can have those experiences with the closest people to you, or even a solitude experience, like hiking a beautiful mountain and reaching the top and seeing the view from the top, like this is real abundance, right?
Mhm.
Personal growth is another huge aspect of abundance. Like, when we feel like we're cultivating more self-respect and understanding about ourselves, and that's what I love so much about Ayurveda. It really shows us who we are, and we really grow, and that personal growth is abundant in itself. It's this personal expansion, it's stepping into your higher self. That is abundance. And of course, we can have abundance of health, so we can really work on the basics of optimizing our health as women, our hormones. Like, that is such a huge thing. Like, eating healthy, eating well, eating a good diet, sanitary water. I mean, this isn't accessible for everybody either. So again, I'm not trying to sugarcoat this. There are some
Mhm.
countries and people in the world that don't have, access to health or the education or the clean water and healthy eating. So for those who do, we really have to appreciate this as a given beautiful abundance, and we can always work on it no matter where we are. And I think that's why I'm so passionate as well about sharing this kind of stuff on podcasts, free media, where we can really share information, because education and information, once it's applied, it can become wisdom. And when we can have a platform like this, which is completely free for those who may be less fortunate, it can still inspire and help them to create abundance through their health. And then one other really big aspect of abundance is that deeper connection, to either to self or to your community or to your culture, in the form of also like spirituality. So you can be really spiritually abundant and just feel connected, feel love, feel the energy around you without having to step into any sort of financial or wealth or material aspect. So there's so many more ways that we can look at abundance, and this perspective, it really emphasizes the gratitude, the contentment, and the fulfillment that is derived from these intangible sources. So they're not material, rather they're solely from our our energy, our connection, and all of these things outside of having to be this physical sort of material wealth. I think abundance beyond materialism also involves cultivating a sense of richness and abundance in all areas of our life. So really focusing on things that bring us joy. And this is what I say to a lot of my clients that, I was seeing yesterday, my beautiful hormone clients as well, is like, where can we find more joy in our life? Because when we can find more joy, that is the energy of abundance.
Mm-hmm.
So going and participating in joyful conversations, joyful activities, this is all part of cultivating that abundance mindset and really manifesting this abundance beyond material possessions. And really, I think when you pull it back, it comes to that deep connection to self, to others, to community, to spirituality, to your health, to personal growth. It's that deep connection that drives that abundance for me. And so some tangible things that our listeners can go and do would first of all be asking themselves where they feel they lack abundance besides wealth or besides material. So if that is, they feel like they lack true connection in friendships, or they lack that deeper connection in their romantic relationship, or they're not having fun in their life, like that's where they can start to have a look at where they're really lacking that abundance, in what area that is not involved in wealth or material possession, and then do one step to add that into your calendar, whether that be a joyful activity. So say you're like, I'd love just to go and dip myself in the ocean every morning, but I felt like I haven't had time, or I just haven't prioritized it. Whatever it is, prioritize it, because you deserve abundance. If that's in your relationships, then have a discussion with that person, or work on ways where you can work on yourself so you can show up as your most abundant person in that relationship, abundant lover, abundant friend, whatever that may be. So I think you need to really ask yourself, where in my life is abundance lacking that isn't directly related to finance or materialistic things?
Yeah, I love that. And that's just like mic drop. We don't even need to have a conversation. You just took everything out of my mouth. It's so true. Like abundance is a feeling. Abundance isn't just, and I think we need to revisit the concept of what abundance means to us individually, and what does that mean. And it's not just about material, it's not just about wealth. And society has programmed us to think that abundance equals wealth, abundance equals success, and success equals money in the bank. And that's not what abundance is. And it's really taking it away from what the core of abundance is. And it is that feeling. So I loved everything that you said of focusing in on areas of your life where you feel, not that you are, but where you feel that you are maybe lacking or can have more of. And a great tool is, how Harmony said, have a look. And if you're struggling, going, what are the areas, just even Google Wheel of Life. That tool of Wheel of Life is really powerful because it gives all the areas of your life, and you can kind of use that to map out, where am I feeling abundant? Where can I focus in more on? And then focus in once a month, focus in one area, and just move around those different areas. So I love that, that perspective, Harmony.
Thank you. Well, I think we've sort of covered, well, how I see abundance beyond
Mm.
materialism. But Mel, how have you personally applied an abundance mindset, even on the face of adversity? And what tips can you give our listeners who feel that they are so far from feeling abundant? Like they're like, no, I just feel like everything is going to shit around me. I don't have enough money to barely feed my family, to which makes me not feel happy or abundant in any way. How can these people feel abundant, and what steps would you give them to be able to cultivate an abundant mindset and step into their higher self, even when at the moment they're feeling like they're at rock bottom, or they're facing adversity and it's just so far from the way that they're thinking right now?
Yeah. And this is great because I've experienced so much adversity in my life. And, growing up and not having the quote unquote abundance in terms of success. I grew up with a single mum that was on government subsidies and not having anything, even going to schools with holes in my shoes and things like that. But when I was that little kid, I didn't feel like we were what society will call poor. I didn't feel like we were like low social economic area. I thought like my mother, our house was always neat and tidy, and we had beautiful plants everywhere and beautiful things. And I'm like, oh my God, we are so lucky. My mum always had food in the cupboards. She always had so much like food on the table for dinner, even though she was struggling week in, week out. Like I never looked and went, oh my God, we don't have enough. Like even though the toys that I had, we didn't have money to go and buy toys, she could only buy me one toy for Christmas. And my birthday, I didn't get anything. It was only Christmas. I could choose one toy that was $10. And we went to Franklin's, which is like a Woolworths. I don't know how old your the listeners are, but if you remember Franklin's, hello 80s baby. But
Yeah.
back we went to Franklin's and I went to the toy aisle, and I could only choose one toy that was worth $10. That was all I got for the whole year. And then we had Salvation Army. So at Christmas time, a big truck that said Salvos on the side of it. For those of you that aren't in Australia, that's a charity here in Australia. And they will pull up and they'll come with a big black plastic bag full of toys. And I thought like, oh my God, we are the luckiest kids on earth. I thought I was living abundantly. Well, I was living abundantly because it was the feeling. I never felt lack, and the concept, and Bashar is a channeler, and he said, abundance is having whatever you need right now. And it was, I'm needing food, I have food. Didn't need a toy, I wanted a toy, I had toy. So it's really changing and shifting the perception and concept of what abundance means to you. And as I grew up, and you go into high school and people are like, oh, you God, you're poor, or I got the latest this or the latest that. That is when I started to feel lack of. That is when I started to feel not abundance, because society was telling me that abundance means success. Abundance means that I need to have the latest Nike shoes. Abundance means that I need to have this big color TV. They were still big and bulky, but a big colored TV. That is what abundance. So that is when I started feeling the lack. And it goes back to what you were saying, Harmony. Abundance is a feeling of gratitude and trust that you're always going to have what you need. So, as you grow up, and that's why I think and I look at kids, well, majority of the kids, they are just living, and it doesn't matter whether you've got wealth or you may be struggling financially. If you look at children, they are just so happy and joyful. They don't have a sense of, I don't have enough. They just want to go and play. They have food, and they're just in this state of innocence and joy and a trust that their needs are always going to be met. And we lose that as we become adults, because society programs us as that. So I want to take that concept, and now growing up into an adult where, me and hubby started building our life, and We poured everything, sold our homes, and poured everything into a few business ventures that, through COVID, we lost everything big, and have gone backwards, and financial stresses and all that kind of stuff over the last 2.5 years. And that has been really hard for me to stick in the space of, I am abundant, I trust, because when you have debtors knocking at your door, when you're struggling to put food on the table for your kids, it is so challenging to get into that state of gratitude and into that state of, I'm abundant and all my needs are met. Whatever I need, I have, and that's abundant. It is so fucking difficult because we're living in this 3D reality. But I have to say, what has got me through over the last 2.5 years, where there are weeks where I haven't been able to go and do groceries to put on the table, and we're really scrapping through that, I really go inwards. And even though everyone's like, oh, what is going inwards going to be? Well, how is that going to help? It helps, because when you do everything that you can outside in reality, in tangible reality, and there is nothing more that you can do but having to wait for time, you have to go in and connect in with your power so deeply and surrender and come into a place of gratitude when your reality is showing you that you don't have enough finances, money, food, joy, happiness, all the things, not just finance. It is really coming in and surrender. So to all of you that may be finding yourself in a place where you're struggling, lack of abundance in finances, lack in abundance in relationship, because boy, did it put pressure on my relationship. So I was finding lack in every area of my life. If we're looking at the wheel of life and the different areas, I was really lacking. But I just came back. I kept coming back into my practice, coming in and connecting in. I was visualizing and feeling the life that I wanted, visualizing and feeling, not just visualizing, really feeling and surrendering, then going into a state of gratitude. And it cannot be, oh, I'm so grateful and thank you. It could just be sitting down and eating my food and say, thank you so much that I have, this little bit of food here. Thank you. Thank you that I still have a roof over my head. Thank you. Thank you for this car that I'm driving, that it wasn't, repossessed. Thank you so much. You can still find the gratitude in the rock bottom. When you feel like all hope is lost, you can still find the little bit of gratitude. And if you do that daily, and if you do that throughout the day, and I think the most powerful thing is, for me, it was coming back into my breath. Just stopping and just breathing, because we always have an abundance of breath, of life. And as we're still breathing, and we've got to think, right, we are unlimited co-creators. And what I've realized in my experiences, when I feel that there's that block in abundance, it doesn't matter what area of my life, is because there is a belief system that is blocking. And we are abundant, whether we're abundant in lack of income, we're abundant lack in relationships, whether we're abundant lack in business success, we're still abundant. But it's like, what are we tapping into and believing we're going to be abundant in that? So there is a few different layers of abundance, but it comes back into remembering that we're always abundant. We're magnetizing. Abundance is magnetism. It's a feeling, right? Like you said, gratitude. We're either magnetizing gratitude and bringing in success or abundance, positive abundance, or we're magnetizing scarcity and lack, and we're abundant in the lack. So we're abundant. I just want you guys to remember that we're abundant, unlimited beings. And we got to go inside of, where is the blockages? What are we lacking? And then tapping into gratitude, visualization, and that feeling. Sorry, I went on a whole tangent, but hopefully that made sense.
No, I love that, Mel. And one thing I absolutely love about you is you always show up as a a pure, abundant, beautiful human being, no matter what you're going
Mm.
through. So you always show up as that person. And I really feel that if you are feeling like a lack of abundance in any areas of your life, it's always important to surround yourself with people who have an abundant mindset, who have a growth mindset, a positive mindset, who are on their trajectory of personal growth and amplification, not people who are going to, they're always whining about their situation, or they're wanting to put you into like a little square box or whatever that may look like, because we are vibrational beings. Abundance is a vibration, it's an emotion, it's a feeling. And if you can be around people that really ooze that and really empower that within you, then you've only got one way forward, and that is stepping into your abundant higher self. So I totally resonate with what you're saying. And yeah, like I said, no matter what the physical world is throwing at you, you always show up as this abundantly beautiful human in your higher self, which is so admirable. And I love that so much. And I know that this Saturday you have an I Am Truth workshop, or going on. It's 4-hour workshop, isn't it? It's quite a half
Yes.
day, and it's amazing. I went to your last one and I was just like awestruck, going, I just love it. You're so inspiring, and you can get people from feeling that real lack to just way up here, which is beautiful. And so did you want to share a little bit more about the workshop you've got going on?
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. So it goes perfectly with abundance, the I am truth. I really talk about, you hear a lot of, the new paradigm, the new earth, fifth dimension, and what that really is. And it's qualities. It's just like Ayurveda. What are the qualities? It's qualities of what is the fifth dimension, and understanding what the fifth dimension allows you to then embody it and move your business in that state. So you're in that vibrational frequency, so you can magnetize more and you can be abundance. And in the I Am Truth, I also have a 5D energetic tool, which I call the I Am Truth tool. So really, when we're in that state, when our world is breaking around us down and we need to come back into that state, it's rewiring that subconscious mind. It is also then going and doing the inner child work and meeting that wounded part of ourselves. And then it has that quantum effect, because when we're reprogramming our subconscious mind and working with our inner child, we then have able to release those limited and shift those beliefs, right? And when we do that, we raise our frequency. When we raise our frequency, then we can tap into the quantum of what is possible. And to be able to do that, we have to shift those beliefs, right? We have to shift those beliefs to be able to feel and visualize what is possible. So this is why I think the I Am Truth event is so powerful, to first have the understanding of what is frequency and what is vibration, and how do I go from lack to then abundance and courage and love and joy, and then having the tool to be able to go home and use it. Like, I use this tool all the time, especially in the last 2.5 years. And it has been so powerful for me. And hence why I'm like, everyone needs to know it. Everyone needs to know it, whether in your business or not. You need to know it to shift, because life is going to throw shit at you. And we need to be equipped with powerful tools that we can use. So it is a 4-hour event. We've got it here on the Gold Coast on the 8th of June.
Amazing. And yes, and if you can't make the event because you live far and wide, then find a community, find an abundant, beautiful community. And if you want to be part of ours, please reach out. We can share all that with you as well. But thank you so much. If you guys love these episodes or have anything to add or share, you can meet us in the Ayurveda and Women's Health Sisterhood Facebook group, where you can join in the conversation after the episodes. Or we love reaching out, or getting you guys reaching out to us in the DMs on Instagram. I'm at Harmony Inspired Ayurveda, and Melissa is I am Melissa Alvers. So listen, tag, and give us a holla. Thank you, beautiful people. Have a wonderful, abundant day.